So, back on the Lotus. And today I'm going to do a full rebuild of those famous Dellorto DHLA carburettors and have a closer inspection of the paint. Okay, so I've just picked up this kit from a company called Lotus Bits of Warwickshire. It's a pretty comprehensive kit. The Dellorto carbs. Best not lose any of these. We won't be using those because they actually seal onto the manifold. You've got like a steel disc in between and you have like one of these either side and that's how it seals. So you've got your jets, you've got your diaphragm. Thought this might have been instructions, but no such luck. You'll have to just get on with it and work it out, eh? You've got all your gaskets. I suppose the next thing to do is try and get the thing off. Wish me luck. Off with the air intake filter housing and the filter. Oof, how dirty is that? Then it's off with the bolts that retain it to the manifold. You'll notice the small bobbins that act like a kind of shock absorber to stop the vibration. The bottom ones are a little tricky. You have to be a contortionist. Disconnect the fuel lines. Undo the accelerator cable and the choke cable. And it's out. Right. So here we are, guys. Let's have a look at this. Now for some reason the left carb's filling up but the right one seems to be draining away. So if the diaphragm's punctured or split in any way and the fuel is sort of leaking onto the distributor, it catches a spark and boom, the whole car goes up in flames. It's the cause of many a fire. And the strip down begins. So basically floats, needles, fuel jets, air screws, everything needs to be removed so they, along with the empty carburettor, can be clean within an inch of their lives. It may seem a little daunting at first, all those bits everywhere, but it's not as bad as it seems once you get into it. Just make sure you keep all the bits with the carb it came out of, just for ease. A new needle is fitted. Using the old needle, this is just to show you how the needle slots into the float. New one fitted. And a careful tap of the pin. One for luck. There's a measurement for the travel of these to determine the correct fuel measurement in the carb, but I'll cover that in a later episode. For the moment, I just want to be able to move the car in and out. Make sure the floats are clean. A sonic cleaner is normally the best method of deep cleaning, but I haven't got one, so I simply soak the whole carb with its bits in a container full of carb cleaner, and there's all sorts of brushes and stuff you can pick up for getting into all those nooks and crannies, and even though it looks clean, you'd be really surprised how much dirt is actually in there. And reassembly begins. All the seals are replaced on the jets, along with all new gaskets. A new spring and diaphragm. All the jets go back in. And just be aware of this one as it's got a flat face inside, so be sure to line this one up first so it seats, otherwise you'll be turning the screw forever. The second carb gets exactly the same treatment. The refitting of the carbs is just a reversal of the removal. And I might as well replace the rubbers which provide the seal for the carbs onto the manifold whilst I'm there. A small rubber ring, one each side of the metal disc. So as I plan this restoration, I'm deliberating opting for a brand new chassis, along with brand new running gear, a full respray, and maybe a full cream leather interior. Okay, you purist holdback. After all, it was an optional extra at the factory back in the day when they were new. But first, I'm going to source a Lotus specialist out there who has all the parts at hand and in stock. And as I embark on this long journey, one that's also willing to share their plethora of knowledge and advice along the way. Never embarrassed to seek experience and gather knowledge, I've always been a sponge for information. I mean, isn't that what makes this classic car community we're all part of so special? There's always plenty of us out there willing to help and learn. On with the choke cable, and then the fuel lines. The air intake assembly, tabs in, and I had to cut the fray bit off the end of the accelerator cable, and it wasn't quite long enough then to reach, so I made up this little bracket just for the meantime, just so it could stretch long enough to fit. This'll do for now until a brand new one arrives. Well, the gearbox and the brakes work. That's good. So let's take a look at this dull paint job, because I'm intrigued. Let's have a little further investigation. So as I've said in the previous Porsche episode, Tom wasn't really one for washing his cars. So since 1977, this has probably been washed about twice. And you know the score with red paint, guys. It fades worse than any other colour in the sun and everything else. So let's take a look and see what we've got. So first give the bonnet and the front wing a light clay. Then when I'm happy, I give it a gentle clean and a polish with some Maguire's 83. Careful as to not damage the paint underneath. You know, on closer inspection, I can see small chips and deep scratches here and there. And although the gel coat's in excellent condition, I think it's inevitable this car's going to need a paint job. But, you know, with just 15 minutes work and a little bit of elbow grease, this will give you a taste of how a paint job can be transformed, resurrected, and brought back from the dead with just a little work. I mean, just look at the difference from that to that. I'm finished off with a little bit of 3M's finesse. Careful of those edges. Just look at that. Gorgeous. Well, it's certainly given me a lot to think about. Thank you for watching this episode of Classic Obsession. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. and join me next time when I visit Douglas Metal Finishes with the bright work from the Corniche, and they take me through the 3 stages of triple chroming, the bane and the Achilles heel of classic car restoration.